Evening, Mayor and Council. We have Jamie Spinelli, our homeless response manager, to give situation report number 4 on our homelessness emergency.
Great, thank you.
Is this thing on? Okay.
Incident Commander Landy isn't with us this evening?
He's not.
Oh.
He's out of town. He's having fun wherever it is he's at. Good evening, Mayor and Council. So this is the 4th situation report or update on our homeless declaration of emergency. So the period that I'm going to be reporting on is for February of this year. I might sprinkle in some things that have occurred since February just because it will make sense as I'm saying it. I'm not going to read every single one of these things, but some of the high points are that we've been working with CRESA and VPD in the fire department on data collection and tracking for the emergency declaration, just to kind of make sure that we have a baseline for some of the things that were contributors to the declaration in the first place, right? So calls for service, you know, the demand on emergency services, for example. So we want to be able to say this is kind of baseline for where we're at with calls for service related to unsheltered homelessness, and then track as we go along to see that we see a decrease, or just kind of however it ends up going to ultimately let us know when we're heading out of the emergency. So that really has just looked like CRESA working with, I think it's Hexagon, whoever does the CAD system. We're just going to add some buttons so that officers are required to click one of them to let us know whether or not it's something that's related to unsheltered homelessness specifically. So the button is possible right now, but before we roll it out, we're going to start coming up with some protocols and like definitions so that it's very clear when that should be clicked and when it shouldn't. So that's kind of a cool thing that we're going to do. We've lost 9 people since the homeless memorial. I'm probably going to give you an update on that every single month. We have hired a new outreach specialist for the HEART team, Tiffany. I don't know if any of you have met her yet, but she's very, very good. She comes with her own lived experience here locally, which she's pretty open about. So we're excited to have her on the team. We've conducted various cleanups kind of all over the city, which we will continue to do. We've put a few places on a regular, like every 2-week rotation, just to make sure that we're staying on top of it. Safe Stays and Safe Park. We've got 11 total people who have exited to housing from all of our sites just in the month of February, which is great. And really this has been, as I was looking over everybody's data, this is really like the month of partnerships. Because we, in addition to data, we ask for just kind of like stories, successes, challenges, et cetera. And the amount of new partnerships that each of the Safe Stays and the Safe Park have managed to come up with are actually very impressive. So the Kiggins Village, for example, has a canine trainer, a canine, what are they called? A canine trainee. But they're going to be coming out and doing training classes for Kiggins Village residents with their pets, which I think is going to be a very cool thing. Victory Food Project has met with 415 West to start their garden build, planning for the garden build. So that'll be occurring sometime when it gets a little warmer and drier. Humane Society is also going out there and working with pet owners for spay and neutering. There's so many. Hope Village has really started to solidify a partnership with Lifeline Connections, specifically with the Crisis and Stabilization Center for referrals directly from their facility to Hope Village so that we don't lose people in the process, after discharge. And Open House Ministries. Open House Ministries has been a really excellent partner, especially over the last several months. We've had some residents who have come in who are expecting, and we don't have children at our Safe Stays. And so they've really helped us make a smooth transition for folks who are having children over into Open House Ministries so that we're not losing them to no shelter as well. So this says that we're continuing to work with community partners for a location for the community court program, but I didn't want to wait till the end of next month to tell you. We actually have identified a location.
Oh,
We have and funding for the rent that will be necessary. So the county is helping with funding for the rent that'll be needed. So we're going to move forward with that, and it's actually a city-owned property, so that's exciting. So we will start the process of expanding community court to a full day, probably transitioning to a different day of the week, and we're very excited about that. These property closures are actually the exact same ones that we talked about last month, but they technically occurred in February, so I just left that on there. And then Columbia River Mental Health, their community response teams, these are the updates that they give every month. And I just wanted to note, because it's on the bottom here, about the community forum that was done. Technically, that was done in March, but it's already been on the news, so I'll just mention that they had a community forum and community conversation at the Fourth Plain Commons on March 15th. I was on the panel for that discussion, as was one of the HART officers and the District 2 NPO, Officer Van Royce. And that was a really excellent community conversation around mental health, police, substance use, specifically kind of along that Fourth Plain corridor, the kind of supports that are available, some newer nonprofits that are available specifically in the corridor for at-risk youth. There was a really, really great conversation. And I think that there was some media done about it. And I think that's all I've got for updates. There's many on there, but I'll be reading those for an hour.
thank you. Any questions or comments from Ms. Spinelli? Councilor Harless, go ahead.
Quickly, just these numbers make me so happy. Like in preparation for the meeting, going through documents and, open this one up, and I'm like, I don't think numbers have made me this happy in a long time. So just great appreciation for the work that's done. I know there's a lot of, pain and, hard times too. But you really, all of this work and all these partnerships and everything just shows just the beauty that is in this world still. And so I just wanted to express that. I'm especially, of course, excited about the food projects and food sovereignty stuff. So I'm really excited to see those moving forward, as well as the animals, and really hitting everybody's quality of life, and the things that really bring you hope. Isn't just, meeting your basic needs, but it's so much more. And so thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Councilor Press?
A couple of questions, Jamie. One, I love the pop-up resource event that's included in here, and I was wondering how often they occur, and have they occurred at each site?
No, so Thrive to Survive is who runs the Safe Park, and Thrive to Survive typically has a quarterly kind of large event for the whole community, usually at Living Hope Church. And since they just took over operations of the Safe Park in January, they wanted to start doing some kind of mini events at Safe Park, but they will also be starting to roll out some pop-up events at or near encampments.
Okay.
As kind of part of an expansion that they're working on. So it's entirely possible that they could do it at some of the other sites in partnership with the Safe Stays, but that was just kind of the
That
first
would be
one.
great. I'd love to see more of those pop-up events happen. Yeah. And then my final comment, a little bit of the opposite of what Councilor Hollis said. I'm not excited about the numbers for children and a baby. It actually frustrates me that we have children and a baby in this situation, and it's infuriating, it's maddening, and I know it's things that are outside of my immediate control, but as a system and governing body trying to really make a change, we really have to keep our eye on the ball, because otherwise, what kind of society are we creating when it's okay for anyone at that matter, but for our most vulnerable children and babies to be in those type of situations and to continue that. So I just wanted to express my frustration with that, and I do acknowledge the great accomplishment here as far as movement and help but also the sad reality that we're in this position of babies and children in this situation.
Yeah. I want to just clarify real quick. So these were not babies that were on the streets prior to. They were women who were pregnant when they came in. Just wanted to make sure
Yeah,
that.
same.
And we found
To
a place.
me, it's
Yeah,
the same vulnerability.
agreed. Nobody should be experiencing homelessness at all. Yeah.
That's it for me.
Okay.
Counselor Fox, go ahead.
Actually, most of my questions you answered in your presentation. I appreciate that. I was checking them off. So really the only thing that was left is actually really, I just think your reports are very clear. And I like the little nugget in there of the amazing beard trim. So I'm hoping
Yes,
that you
I saw that.
share little nuggets like that. I really would like a picture to go along with the amazing beard trim
Okay.
next time. Okay. But other than that,
I
thank
bet
you
I
for all.
can produce that.
Yeah. Thank you for the good work.
Any other comments or questions? Counselor Henson.
Thank you for the metrics. Thank you for putting some numbers to it. And also, ongoing numbers are great too, where we can turn around and say, have we improved? Have we not improved? And let's, take a victory lap for some of the successes of some of the people that transition into regular housing. Thank you.
Do these reports come to you, Jamie, monthly? Can we do a year-to-date type of thing?
I do get monthly reports from each of the sites, which is why I started putting all of the site-specific stuff just this month on this one. We typically do like a 6-month and an annual review for each of the safe stays that we put out in a report. I need to I think, do an annual for, well, now 2 of them, the Outpost and Hope Village, because we're just now coming up on year 2
Right.
for Hope Village. But yes, those are all available to the public. When we get them, when we finish them, we put them online. But certainly I can continue to put things together for the monthly reports.
And when you say they go online, where can people go on our website to find that information?
So on the city's website, you go to the city manager's tab and then homeless response. And so each of the reports that are currently available are there. And then all of our emergency declaration, all of these reports also go on the emergency declaration page on the city's website.
Great. Thank you so very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you. You
We
too.
appreciate it.
Thank you.